Samsung, proud sponsor of Tech Busters.
VMware is probably one of the biggest companies you've never heard of. They're a world leader in virtualization, in taking computing from the data center to the cloud to mobile devices. Joe Baguley is their CTO for the EMEA region, and Aki managed to sit down with him when he was in the country to find out what he thinks the IT industry is going to be doing in 2014 and beyond.
VMware is a fascinating company. They turned 15 this year, and they've been in the IT industry. They're the veterans of the IT industry, especially when you look at cloud and virtualization services. Joe Baguley is the CTO for the EMEA region. Joe, you are 15 years old this year. When you look back at VMware's journey, how would you put it into context for us?
Yeah, so 15 years ago, some people decided they wanted to find a way to run Windows on Linux, was essentially what they thought they'd do. And initially in a desktop market, and then over the next 15 years, we've gone to be the number one in the enterprise. And the interesting thing is that we're the biggest company no one's heard of. You know, you say other names in IT and everyone's heard of us, but because we kind of sit behind the scenes powering everything, not many people see us. So maybe we need kind of like a VMware Inside campaign, like the Intel Inside campaign, that kind of thing. So yeah, it's been a very successful and interesting 15 years for us. And for a company still to be growing in double-digit figures in today's market is outstanding, I think.
The industry's gone from hardware to a software-based industry. How do those affect your business?
Basically, all the value is now in software and not in hardware. So whereas before people used to buy specific hardware to do specific roles, what virtualization does is it frees up the applications from any particular piece of hardware and allows them to run anywhere. It's kind of the inception behind the cloud in a way was the fact that you could run any workload anywhere. It didn't matter what the hardware was. And now when you use cloud providers, you don't ask them who the provider of their hardware is. It's all about the value that the software is providing. So we're seeing a focus in the industry now on software. So initially we virtualized computers. So we had multiple machines running on one machine, which was the big breakthrough. And now we're seeing the same come to the other two big areas of computing, which is networking and storage. And so now we're seeing network devices being virtualized and the network functions being virtualized, so we're not reliant on particular network hardware. And the same in storage. I think you're going to see less and less people buying specific storage devices and more using software to manage large amounts of distributed storage. So it's all moving to software.
The next 5 years are now quite difficult to kind of foresee, but where do you see it going in the next 5 years?
I see a shift, this continued shift in the power base towards users. I see IT moving to being more of a curator of services, being more of an advisor. Maybe, okay, I know you want to use the service, but here's the 3 that we recommend. We've done some advice on you and research for you on that. Or these are the 3 that meet our compliance requirements. I see IT moving to being focused more on the value that they deliver because they're going to be in a more of a competitive world. And they're going to have to get better at marketing. I think IT departments are going to have to get better at marketing their services to their users. I mean, you just have to look at, most people work in, the company you work in maybe gives you an expenses system. That expenses system is probably 15, 20 years old, has a horrible interface that someone's hacked together in some website, and yet the users are looking at some amazing new app that someone's put on the App Store and they're going, I want to use that. IT's job is going to be how to work that out, how to meet business needs at the same time as meeting the user needs. And also the risk's going to shift, because at the moment, all the risk is in IT. IT make the decisions, they take the risk in terms of data security and all those kind of things. As the power base moves toward the users, the risk is going to move more towards the users as well. So we're going to need to better educate people on privacy, security, understanding the impact of their actions, making sure that what they do is taken in the right context and the good of the company. And we seem to think that everything's solved because it's electronic. In some cases, it causes problems, but people don't seem to think about how to solve that intelligently. I mean, the example is we focus very heavily on you must never take a USB key out with unencrypted data and all these kinds of things. But no one checks people's bags when they leave the building for printouts of paper. But people know you don't take out printouts of paper with all the company confidential information on it. So it's education as well. I think we're going to see a shift in education.
Thank you, Joe.
No problem.